First, I want to just thank you all. I know it's a Wednesday afternoon. Summer is in full swing. I'm jealous of Myrna's background already with the beach. You could have been a lot of places, but you're here with us, and I really appreciate that. Tonight's presentation is called Protect Your Financial Wealth with Credit and More. And before we get started, I just want to introduce myself and share a little bit about me. And we'll leave most of the time for the presentation and actually some live questions. So there'll be a live Q&A towards the end. So if you don't have a pencil and or a piece of paper handy, or if you take notes digitally like I do, make sure that you have all that stuff available. And definitely make sure you understand how to use the chat function in the Zoom. Right, so we'll be monitoring that, and we'll actually start with any of those questions that we see throughout the presentation. So feel free to be as interactive as possible. Since most of you already know me, my name is Lamont Lieutenant. Thank you for being here. Just wanted to share a little bit around why we're hosting this particular topic, and is a topic dear and near to my heart. As many of you know, I've spent the majority of my professional career in financial services. Some of you may not actually know the reason why. When I was 16, my house burned down and our family lost everything. And with that, I learned really quick the importance of being able to not only create wealth, create and have assets, but protecting it. Right. And I went and pursued a career in financial services for the better part of my life as a result of that. But what I did not know, and what I've been learning throughout that career, is how important credit and a number of other services that, as I transitioned from corporate America to a financial coaching business, some of my clients are actually on the call now, so I appreciate you. I was often encountered with problems that I couldn't solve. Things like credit repair, things like establishing a living will and trust, right? With the pandemic that's happening right now, a lot of people have been left ill prepared as they lost family members who didn't have everything squared away. And so if there's one positive thing that this pandemic and this time in place has taught me, is it's given me an opportunity to really kind of take stock of what I have both in order, as well as what I need to get in order. And I thought that while many of us have a little bit more time on our hands, why not bring this information out to the masses, right? Which is really why I got into financial services in the first place. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce kind of the person who introduced me to United Credit Education Services and their bundle of products that I now have incorporated into my financial coaching business. And this person, we're really lucky to have him. I'm going to go ahead and read from my notes, because his accolades are far too many for me to be able to remember, and I don't want to mess any of them up. So Rod McInnes is a former TD Ameritrade executive. He's actually in the process of building his fourth multi-million-dollar business. And within this particular business itself, he was able to generate $100,000 per month in sales within only 7 months, in addition to having a long-established wealth management business. So with that, what I'd like to do is just turn it over to Rod and allow him to introduce himself and take it away.
All right, Lamont, thank you, man. I appreciate that warm introduction. I am pleased to be here and talk to your guests about the opportunity that many of us are very excited about. I'm going to have some folks join me in a little bit to kind of help share a little bit about some of their experiences with this as well. But I am going to kick off the presentation and just talk through a little bit about how I got involved in this, and then I'll get into the content of the presentation. So, gang, it's a pleasure to be here. Working with Lamont and Gilda has been an absolute pleasure working with them in terms of being business partners. And so we're excited about what we do. Let me just share about how I got involved in this. I was Actually, I found this opportunity by accident. As Lamont mentioned, I'm a wealth manager, and I was working on a philanthropic project with a business partner of mine who owns a real estate company out here in Arizona. And essentially, we were just trying to help 150 less fortunate families move into homes that they couldn't necessarily qualify for on their own. And so we put together a team of professionals to get this project off the ground. We needed a credit professional, so I reached out to my network, and a young lady invited us to come see a presentation. And when we saw the presentation, which is the exact same presentation I'm about to walk you through, it absolutely opened our eyes to the need that existed in the marketplace when it comes to credit restoration, right? We didn't know the millions of people that needed the help. And then when we saw the business opportunity, that sealed the deal for us. We felt like, the products were definitely a perfect fit for what the marketplace needed. And then with the business opportunity, we had a chance to see that we can earn an income while helping people at the same time. So we decided to join forces and partner with that young lady and this organization to help get this information out to the masses. So I'm going to walk you through the first part of this, which is the actual presentation about the services. And then we'll pause for a little bit. I have a person coming on, another business partner of mine coming on and talk a little bit about her testimony with the services. And then we'll pivot to the business opportunity. And I got another business partner that will come on to talk about her experience with that as well. So I got a lot to cover in a short period of time. So let me go ahead and get started. As Lamont mentioned, this is United Credit Education Services. This is an organization that is a nonprofit, been around for 16 years, and has successfully removed over 2.5 million negative items off of consumer credit reports. Now, the one thing I like about this company is that it is not a credit restoration company or a credit repair company. It is a financial literacy company. And the reason is, as we see here with Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he explains, we're not taught financial literacy in school. And I'm a testament to that, gang. I mean, in grad school or in college, I went to college for free on a basketball scholarship. However, when I graduated grad school, I was in $40,000 worth of credit card debt. And every time I tell my story, many people wonder, how does that happen, right? You go to school for free and you end up in debt. Well, the reason is because credit card companies target college students. They're now targeting high school students now, right? So we want to make sure that we protect our students because they are under siege. I remember when I was walking on campus, I couldn't walk 10 steps without tripping over a table that had a credit card application on it and a free pizza coupon. And in order for me to get the free pizza, I had to sign up for the credit card application. And guess what? I signed up for as many as I could possibly get my hands on to get the free food, right? So Kiyosaki takes a step further. He says it takes a lot of time to change your thinking and to become financially literate. So let me reveal to you 5 shocking facts that you probably didn't know about Americans and our finances, all right? Here's the first one. As of March of 2019, we as Americans were already drowning in over $1 trillion worth of credit card debt, just credit card debt. Now, this was before pandemic and a year ago. So this number has doubled, if not tripled. And then 56% of people in the U.S. have no rainy day funds or no emergency funds. And you started to see this play out when people had to stand in food pantry lines that never had to stand in food pantry lines before, when this pandemic hit. And then 46% of baby boomers have less than $10,000 saved for retirement. Now, this is particularly sad because this is a generation that worked hard all their lives and unfortunately were not exposed to financial empowerment or financial freedom and never really saved any money for their retirement years. And then 40% of millennials have spent money they didn't have to keep up with friends they probably didn't even like. And most keep it a secret. And I got to believe social media plays a part in this when it comes to people posting these pics and conveying these lifestyles, and people feel compelled to have to keep up with the lifestyle, even if they can't afford it. And then this picture here, this was me in grad school. This is exactly what I look like in terms of head in hand, trying to figure out how did I get myself in this mess? And more importantly, how do I get myself out? Now, this stat, to me, this was the epidemic before the pandemic. 43 million Americans have a credit score less than 599. Now, as of now, 78 million Americans have a credit score less than 699. Now that's scary, and this number is only going to rise as we continue to evolve through the pandemic. And here's what poor credit can fill people with in terms of negative emotions: anxiety, embarrassment, frustration, fear, confusion. I'll add another one: pressure. I felt a lot of pressure trying to figure out how to dig out from underneath all the debt I got myself into. But it's really nothing to be ashamed of, gang. It happens to great people all the time. Now, in contrast, having a strong credit score leaves you feeling a little more positive about life. You feel more confident, more excited, more abundant. That sun shines a little brighter. Birds chirp a little louder. You just have a more positive feel about the direction that you're moving in life. And then ultimately, a good credit score opens up the possibilities to create that lifestyle that you're after or that you desire. Good credit makes it easier for you to get new homes, new cars, low interest rates on credit cards and loans, higher limits, contracts without security deposits, right? And this is where UCES comes into play, because we're committed to helping individuals and families build, organize, and protect their financial future. Now, we do this through an award-winning protection plan. And inside of the plan, there are 12 life-changing products that are arranged in that build, organize, and protect format. Now, it starts with credit restoration. This is where, again, this is what we're known for. This is our flagship service where we can help people get these negative items removed off of the credit reports legally and permanently. Now, again, the thing I like most about the organization is that that's not where it stops. We're all about making sure that people never return back to the initial credit state that they once arrived in. And so we have a credit builder service where we can teach people and build their proficiency on how to manage their credit score and manage the credit game a little better. And then as we start to dispute items off the report and rebuild that score, we have a credit monitoring service in place. Now, this is in place because here's the thing: when you have poor credit, the dark web isn't after you. But once we start to get you over 700 and 750, you become a target. So we want to protect what's been built. And then for those hard to remove items like bankruptcies, repos, tax liens, those items can all come off prior to term, contrary to popular belief. We can get that done through our credit attorneys, where these folks know exactly how to maneuver through the Fair Credit Reporting Act and make sure that they get the items off legally. All right, so again, it's all about education. We teach people how the credit score is calculated. A lot of folks just don't understand these calculations. They don't understand how that credit score is created. And so people need to know that 35% of their credit score is based on payment history. It makes sense. You pay your bills on time, it favors your score. If you don't, it doesn't. And then 30% is based off credit utilization or capacity and amount owed. Now, I wish I had known this when I was in grad school, right? Because every time I got one of those credit cards, they usually gave me a $1,000 limit, and I was the idiot trying to charge $1,200 to $1,500 on each card, not knowing I was destroying my credit score, right? And so ideally, here's the thing, gang. You want to keep your balances at least the 30% threshold of the limit, because the moment you go over 30%, it has a negative impact on the score. Optimally, if you can keep that balance at 10% or less, that's where it favors the score the most. Now, to compound my problem even further, when I came out of grad school, started working, started paying off these cards, the minute I got them to a zero balance, guess what? I closed the account. I should not have done that. I should have kept it open, because 15% of the score is based on the length of credit, right? So had I kept them open, it would have favored my score. All right. 10% is based off new credit inquiries. So we want to be a little more careful when it comes to answering the question that the department asks us, right? Do we want to apply for a credit card in order to get a certain percentage off the purchase? Here's the thing: too many credit inquiries can actually have a negative impact on your score. And then the last 10% is based off types of credit: installment loans versus revolving. Installment loans have a higher favorability on the score than a revolving credit does. All right, so now that we've laid the foundation and we started to rebuild and repair that credit score, we now want to put you in a position where we can help you organize your financial future. And that's done through our budgeting tool, right? So this is where people can now make their money more intentional, where you can tell it where to go. Because here's the thing: if you don't tell your money where to go, it will find ways or places to go, right? Like Costco, for example. I go to Costco the other day for 2 small items. I walked out $500 later. Not quite sure how that happened, but it does. And then there's the net worth tool, where now you can not only know the net worth of your favorite celebrity or your favorite athlete, but for your own self, right? So, and more importantly, we can teach you how to build upon that net worth so that you can continue growing it and leave generational wealth when the time comes. And then there's the YFL Family Mint. YFL stands for Youth Financial Literacy. And this actually gives those that have the younger generation in their households a platform to teach that younger generation all about financial literacy, financial empowerment at their pace and at their level. And then one of my favorite tools is the debt payoff tool. This gives you the ability to actually plug in all of your debt that's in good standing, hit a button, and it'll tell you how to shave off years in paying off that debt so that you can save yourself some more money in the long run. And then we want to protect what's been rebuilt. And we do this through starting with the identity monitoring services. So I'm not sure if you're aware, but an identity is stolen once out of every 2 seconds. So it's more a matter of when than if, right? And so we work through Privacy Armor. So Privacy Armor does all the protections that LifeLock does, except it extends them out to the dark web and to your social media presence. So even in your social media presence, if someone tries to compromise your social media page, you'll receive an alert and you can have it taken care of immediately. And then another favorite of mine is the will and trust, right? The reason is because this in itself is worth its weight in gold to help protect you and your assets. I don't know about you, but growing up on the south side of Chicago, I always thought that things like this were for rich people. Guess what? They're not. They're for people that have assets that they want to protect. I don't need to tell you, we live in a very litigious society, and people can try to sue you for just anything, any frivolous thing, right? But this will allow you to protect your assets, and it's included in this package. If you try to do this through an attorney, it can cost you about $35,000 to $4,000. How do I know? I had one done about 12 years ago. Guess what? It cost me $3,500. And I also had to pay $200 each time I wanted to make a revision. As we go through this, you'll see that you're going to be paying a fraction of the cost to get the exact same thing. Then we have a financial lockbox. So if necessary, if someone needs to access your financials, they can remotely, because everything will be stored in a very secure, private, virtual location. So God forbid something happens, like Lamont, in an emergency with, say, it's a fire in the home, you don't have to worry about trying to grab your kids and financial paperwork and your dog. You can just grab the kids and the dog and keep it moving because your financial paperwork will be in a virtual location, very safe. And then we have a savings goal tool that enables you to actually become more proactive when it comes to savings. You can save for emergency fund, kids' educations, vacations, things like that. Very good proactive tool that can help you accomplish the savings goals. All right, so in addition to all of that, we actually have a Shop for Less service. Now, gang, full transparency. I've been with the company for about 8 months, right? And I just signed up for this about a month ago. I wish I'd have signed up for it sooner because we have agreements through, exclusive agreements through up to 300 brands, retailers, restaurants, and travel brands. Had I been using this sooner, I could have saved myself hundreds of dollars by now, because you get up to 5.4% cash back shopping at places that you normally shop at anyway, right? Like Home Depot, Whole Foods, Uber, Ulta, Sephora, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, ladies, the makeup place. We got the travel brands with American Airlines, Southwest. You can use this service to actually get up to 5.4% cash back. I just started using it for about a month or so now, and already have about $100 or so saved from shopping. All right. When you become a customer in this program, you actually get a roadmap, and this roadmap is laid out in a 10-month time frame, 10-month and ongoing, I should say. And we just want to show you how to utilize all the services. Now, the common question that I get when we share this is, do I have to wait 10 months to see an improvement in my credit score? The answer is no. You should actually start to see improvement in your credit score in about 45 to 60 days. All right. So as a customer, you get access to a portal where you can utilize all of the services. You can use them either on your desktop or actually through our app to make it very convenient. Now, you're probably wondering, with all that stuff, it probably costs thousands of dollars. If you try to get all those services individually, it could cost you about $1,000. But guess what? It's only $188. That's it. That $188 includes a one-time setup fee of $99 and the first monthly subscription of $89. This is a subscription model, and in a minute, I'm going to show you how you can get your subscription waived on a monthly basis. In addition to that, before I move on to that, I want you to understand that this comes with a 100% customer satisfaction guarantee, and there's no obligation. You can opt out of it at any point in time. All right, so how do you get rid of the monthly fee? We have a customer referral program. So as a customer, you can actually refer up to 10 prospective customers. And if 5 enroll, that monthly fee is waived. That monthly fee will be waived for as long as those folks stay enrolled. As long as you get 5 active enrollments, you never have to pay the monthly fee again. All right, so if you do decide to partner with us, it's good for you to know that you're going to be partnering with a company that actually gives back. $2 out of every monthly subscription actually goes towards the Youth Financial Literacy Foundation. This is a foundation that enables us to take this financial literacy program out to the masses, out to the schools in the U.S. So it gives us an opportunity to deploy an 8-week curriculum to kids 5th through 9th grade and teach them all about financial literacy and personal finance. So they're not left to figure it out through trial and error like most of us had to. We also give away scholarships. So we've given away over $1 million since inception, $400,000 this year alone. And I was fortunate enough to be at the convention this year where a 17-year-old cancer survivor was the recipient of a $25,000 scholarship to go to the school of her choice. All right, so I got some testimonials, but before we do that, let me just double check. Tracy, did you make the call?
I did.
Hey, thank you for joining us.
I'm not sure if you can see me or not. Wait a minute. Well,
I can see
can you see me? Oh, okay, cool.
Well, you just went blank. Hang on. Come on back.
Never mind. Just kidding.
All right. Please share a little bit about your experience with the program.
Oh man, this has just been I would say life-saving for me. You talked about a lot of life-changing type of things that this program can do for a lot of people. All of those photos in the very beginning part of the presentation, that was me, except for the senior. That's not me yet. But anyway, when I came across this opportunity, it was because I had just come out of a bankruptcy, had no idea what I was going to do in order to get myself back on track. The opportunity came up, and it was like a life-saving moment for me. When I started this opportunity, you guys, I started with a 524 credit score, coming out of bankruptcy, like I mentioned before, and I am currently at 735 and climbing. I'm looking forward. In 2 more days, I should have an update, so I'm looking forward to that. I've changed from running and hiding from people and not wanting to answer the telephone for creditors to actually looking forward to those credit reports coming up and showing the improvement. And so I'm really, really, really focused on that at this point in the game. When Rod also mentioned to you guys about paying so much money for wills and trusts, I actually worked in the banking industry. I worked at a very high-profile bank in a senior community. And when they would come in and want to convert their checking account to trust, I would ask them how much they paid for those trust documents, real pretty binder and everything. $3,000, $7,500 was the most I've ever come across. And I actually didn't mind with this program, with this small fraction of a cost. So, if you're still on the fence about this, you need to just, I'm going to push you over to the right side. It's a no-brainer, you guys. It definitely works, and I am a walking testimony, sign twirling and everything about this business. So please, thank you for inviting me, Rod, and sharing my testimonial. And you guys just got to do it.
Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much for that. All right, Greg.
And Rod, before we jump into the next portion of the presentation, since I see a bunch of my clients came in a little bit late, what I really wanted to do is really create some level of urgency. So if you've worked with me before in the past, we come up with goals, we set timelines, and we do it. So as an added guest, or better yet, as an added feature for those of you who took the time out to kind of be here and learn with us, I also want to share that we're not going to stop here, right? So I'm committed to actually helping 10 million Americans create financial freedom within the next 10 years, right? And the way that I'm going to do that is put my money where my mouth is, right? So I'm creating a network, actually, the Freedom Accelerator Network, and I would love for you all to be there as well. So you should be able to see this right now if you text Freedom 2020 to 866-926-4020. Not only will you obviously receive a digital summary of everything we're covering today, we'll be putting together a lot of additional helpful informational sessions, right? Never any obligations. But then more importantly, because I did ask the question if anyone sees or thinks that you'd benefit from any of the services tonight, today only 50% off of the UCES Protection Plan services. So we'll go ahead and after you opt in, we'll send you a link where you can sign up for those services free. But hold on until the end of the presentation, because one of the other things that I talk about a lot is the fact that we're in a new age economy, right? The days where you just save and you're okay for retirement, or you're okay to handle the things that you need to get done are done, right? It's all about acquiring assets and leveraging those assets to generate and create income, right? And so I often talk about, my own version of financial freedom is one where passive or residual income takes care of your basic needs. So that's shelter, food, and clothing, right? And I'm a testament to this because I've been living kind of financially free for the past, year and a half. And I can tell you, I've been broke and I've not had to worry about money, and it's a whole lot better and it's a whole lot easier when you don't have to worry about it. And so that's why I'm super passionate about this. And I'll stop there. Definitely, I hope to see a few opt-ins coming in soon, but I'll turn it back over to Rod, because the other thing that I want to just make sure that people understand is it's so important to create some form of residual or passive income. And that's where you have leverage, where you're not just trading your own time for your money. And that's what Rod and the team are going to go over today. And I'll let you go ahead and take it away.
Awesome, man. Listen, that's a great thing that you're doing right there, dude. I appreciate that, and I respect it, man. That's awesome. So I'll take it from here and just kind of wrap up the services aspect of things. You heard from Tracy firsthand. I do want to share one other testimonial. It's really one of my favorites, and that's the one here, Roderick in Texas. He talks about how he was able to, in 2 months, get 11 items deleted off his credit report, and was able to save him and his family $750 a month because he was able to refinance his home and his mortgage, which is awesome, right? So I just wanted to share that with you before we go ahead and wrap things up. So this protection plan gives you an opportunity to take control of your financial future today, all for less than $3 per day, which is less than a cup of gourmet coffee, right? So I'll tell you what, before we move on to the business opportunity, I'd be more than happy to pause here if there's any questions in regards to the services. So you can go ahead, feel free to unmute yourselves and pose any questions you may have in regards to any aspect of the services I can help you with. All right. Go ahead. Feel free to pose away.
I think there was a question in the feed. I gotta go back and scroll back.
Hi, Rod. My name is Myrna. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Myrna.
Hi. So I actually posed the question about the services. Are you paired with a personal advisor as you go through the process?
Great question.
Contact?
Yeah, you're not actually. You don't have a personal advisor per se. Okay. However, when we'll talk about this too, as an agent, most agents choose to work with their customers hand in hand to ensure that they are utilizing the services. They're going through the process the way it's laid out, just so that we can help them get the results as quickly as possible that they're looking for.
Yeah. And I would add to that a little bit, Myrna. You have me and Jilda as a resource, right? So part of the reason why, when I talked about the Freedom Acceleration Network, that I chose to partner with this particular organization is because they were offering things that I saw was a gap in even things that I offer, right? Even things that professional financial advisors offer, right? Like many cases, a lot of the clients that I actually have reached out to financial advisors first and weren't actually ready, right? There's like a foundational component, and this is a little bit more of that financial foundation that needs to happen even before you start going into like wealth accumulation and generational strategies, which many financial professionals would focus on, right? So I saw the gap that a lot of this foundational stuff is missing before you're even ready, which is why I'm excited about partnering with the team and the company. But I also, work with and provide step-by-step instructions to make sure that you get the most out of it.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Great question. Thanks for asking.
You're welcome.
All right. So let me pivot and move on to the business aspect of this, because if you're thinking about doing this as a customer, I would highly encourage you to wait till I get to the end of the presentation and take in consideration everything I'm about to discuss with you now. So this part of the house is Financial Education Services, or FES. And so what I just shared with you is under UCES. Now we got to keep the two separate. And the reason is because in certain states, to work on someone's credit, you have to do it as a nonprofit. All right. So UCES helps us satisfy that requirement. But FES, we're the for-profit arm of the organization. And we're pretty excited about what we do, because again, when it comes to the macroeconomic issues that exist in our country right now, we feel like we got the lifeline. We feel like we have the solution to address all of it. When it comes to restoring buying power and helping people fix their credit, we can do that. When it comes to 85% of Americans right now living paycheck to paycheck, we feel like we have a great opportunity to help them earn some additional income. When it comes to the 145 million Americans that are unemployed right now, we feel like we can offer them an opportunity at entrepreneurship. So we feel like we got the solution to address a lot of macroeconomic issues. So let me go ahead and kick this part off with this quote. It's good to have money in the things that money will buy, but it's good to check up once in a while and make sure you haven't lost the things money won't buy. One of those things, gang, is time freedom, right? So I come from the corporate arena, used to be an executive at TD Ameritrade, as Lamont mentioned, and made some good money in corporate arena. However, I didn't have the time freedom to enjoy it the way I wanted to. And so I'm going to talk about how FES can provide its agents the ability to build a business by marketing innovative financial literacy tools, products, and services, and afford you some more time freedom. Now, at FES, this is where corporate America meets entrepreneurship. Now, we were founded in 2004, same time as UCES. We've both been around for 16 years. Since inception, FES has had consistently strong annual sales growth. Now, I want to share some information with you and emphasize some points on these screens. Last year, we did over $80 million in revenue. All right. Now, why is that important? It's important because this year already we're approaching 100 million. We just crossed the halfway mark of the year. And then on top of that, this organization has a 60% revenue share with the agents of the company. 60%. So to put that in perspective, when I was corporate working on budgets and comp plans, I've seen a 2% revenue share with employees. I've seen a 5%. The max I've seen was a 7% revenue share. I have never seen 60. This is a massive growth opportunity. Why? Because number one, we're a debt-free company with a very strong balance sheet. So we're projected to be at $1 billion a year over the next 7 years. So if you tie that back to the revenue share information I just provided, that means over the next 7 years, over $600 million is going to be shared with the agents of this organization. That is ridiculous. Listen, that's like buying Amazon at its IPO price. That's like buying Apple at its IPO price. That's the type of growth opportunity we're talking about here. And so the same two executives, Paramel Naik and Mike Toloff, these gentlemen have hearts of gold. They're all about servant leadership, and their mission with this platform is to create the most debt-free millionaires. Not just millionaires, but debt-free millionaires. And I think we can all agree that there is a difference between the two. All right. So Let's talk about some of the changes that have been happening over in our country over the past couple of years. Right now, there's over 16.5 million Americans making an additional income through what we call the gig economy. What's that? That's the side gig economy. So many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with the brands that you see here on the slide. Some of you may patronize them. Some of you may even work for them. And I get it. Given the pandemic that we're in right now, people need to do what they have to do to make ends meet. So what we're saying is, why not position FES as your side gig? Why will it work for you? You can be your own boss, make your own hours, build your own team, work from anywhere. So as you got a device and access to the internet, you can work full-time or part-time. And I'm going to share with you how, when you see this compensation plan, you can make a significant amount of residual income doing it either way, full-time or part-time. You get to help people reach their financial goals. As Lamar can attest to, and I can attest to, it is gratifying knowing that you have had a positive impact on the financial lives of people. We have easy-to-use online tools and training and excellent agent support. All right, so let me introduce you to the comparison and the contrast of two income models. There's the linear income model, and then there's the residual income model. Many of us have been groomed and conditioned to operate in a linear income environment. This is where we go trade our time for money, right? I was in this environment for 20 plus years when I was corporate. I was that guy that you see in this picture, hand in hand with a report that you got to explain that doesn't look right to the higher ups in the next 5 minutes, right? Been there. Now, here's the thing. Towards the end of my career, it started to dawn on me that when it comes to my earning potential in this environment, it was limited, right? I was only going to get paid what the organization thought I was worth. I was never going to get paid what I felt I was worth or what my full income potential was. And so it set me on this path to start exploring alternatives. And this is where I started to explore the route of entrepreneurship and the residual income model. Now, in this model, you actually leverage a network, you build a team, right? You don't trade your time for money. In fact, you have more time freedom in this model, and you can put yourself in a position to actually reach your full income potential. Now, I want to be very clear. I'm not trying to encourage everybody to run out and quit their jobs, all right? If you love your job, keep your job. I just want you to be prepared in case your job stops loving you. Like many people found out the hard way through this pandemic. A lot of folks got furloughed. A lot of folks got laid off because the organization couldn't afford them, or they found a lower cost way to do their job. And so I also want to put you in a position where you can earn money in your sleep. Now, why do we want to do that? Because Warren Buffett, the number one investor in our lifetime, tells us, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Now, I don't want to be overly dramatic with this, but I will continue to pound the table and shout from the mountaintops how residual income is an absolute beautiful thing, right? When you don't have to trade your time for money, it's an absolute beautiful thing. And the wealthy has understood this concept for a very long period of time. The wealthy is all about leveraging a network, while many of others are all about looking for work. All right, so let's talk about what else has changed. Traditional marketing has changed. One of the questions that I asked when I first went through this program is, how is it you've been around for so long, 15, 16 years, yet I have never heard of you? And the reason is because this company does not do any TV or radio advertising. Why? Because based on research, 84% of people trust word of mouth recommendations over any other form of advertising anyway. So now this started to make sense to me. Instead of having a ton of money dedicated towards a budget for TV or radio marketing, why not take that same ton of money and plow it back into the number one resource of the organization, which are the agents, and place a bet that the agents' word of mouth ground game can outperform any form of advertising. Guess what? It's working. Over the last 3 months, we've had more customers come into our franchise than in the 16-year history of this organization. For example, we just crossed $140,000 customers. Last year, this time, we were at 50,000 customers. We close to tripled our customer intake. And again, we're excited about what we've done to this point. We're even more excited about the future. And so given all of that, it makes sense to have a 60% revenue share with the agents of the organization. So I want you to understand that as an agent with FES, you're going to get paid and rewarded for simply referring people to the different platforms that we offer. So in the first half of the presentation, I talked to you about our UCES platform, the Protection Plan. That's our signature platform. There's three items on our Protection Plan Plus platform that I want to introduce you to in the next slide. And then the My Care plan, that just gives you the ability to get your life and health power of attorneys and your will and trust done a la carte. So if you want it separate from the Protection Plan, you can absolutely do so. We have a rapidly growing, quite popular secure card. Right now, the secure card, many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with how this works. But for those that are not familiar, the secure card works like this. You put up a deposit, you get a credit card to use against your money, and you get all that information and the transactions reported to the 3 credit bureaus. It's a great way to restore your credit. However, there's an 800-pound gorilla in this space, Capital One. I'm sure you've seen the commercials. What's in your wallet? Let me tell you what's not in your wallet. The 26.99% interest that Capital One charges consumers for a secure credit card, their own money, right? Listen, we offer the same experience. We report to the same 3 bureaus, except it's much cheaper. Our interest rate is 9.99%. It's cheapest in the marketplace. And then we offer a smart credit app, and this gives you the ability to actually get alerts and updates as we start to remove items off your credit, and you'll actually get the incremental increase of your credit score real time. Just think of this as Credit Karma on steroids. And then we have the Ultra Score platform where you get more tips and intel on how to optimize your scores even higher. And then here is our fastest growing service, Credit My Rent, where you can actually, renters can get the ability to take up to 2 years of the good rental payment history and have it applied to the credit reports, boosting that score even higher. All right. So let me introduce you to the 3 items from the Protection Plan Plus platform. We have FES Cellular, where we have a great agreement with Sprint and T-Mobile, where you can get unlimited access for $49 a month per line, no contract, no credit check, and with 5 referrals, you won't have to pay that monthly fee. And then there's FES Travel, where you can save on hotels, rental cars, flights, cruises, and more. I can't wait to actually use this once we get out of this coronavirus environment. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to start traveling again. My Healthcare to Go. This actually gives you the ability to telecommute to a medical professional so that now, particularly now, you don't have to expose yourself to the elements outside, saving you money, time, and making things very convenient because you can get your diagnosis done and your prescriptions called in all from the comforts of home. All right. What better way to make a living than making a difference, helping people improve their financial well-being? So you're probably wondering by now, you've been talking about this compensation plan, Rod. How does it work? And more importantly, how can you get paid? Great question. I'm glad you asked. So full disclosure, I used to design compensation plans. And given my experience, gang, I have never seen a compensation plan this robust and this generous. This is an insanely generous compensation plan. If you talk to any wealthy person, they'll tell you it takes about 5 to 7 income streams to get to a certain level of wealth. You're going to get 6 income streams in one compensation plan. 6 ways to get paid, all right? So let's talk about the first 2. So here's how it works. So when you refer someone to the protection plan, you simply get paid $100 in direct commissions. You also get a $12 residual on top of it, right? So you may look at these numbers and think, well, $100, $12, right? That's not a whole lot of money. Well, this is why I encourage you to think a little bigger, because we talked about the millions of people that need the help. If you just refer 100 people, that's $10,000 in direct commissions. That's $1,200 in residual income on a monthly basis that keeps showing up in your bank account. And this is just the first 2 ways in which you get paid. The third way is called a customer acquisition bonus, or a CAB. So the way the CAB works is, let's say this is you. You're an agent. You decide to enroll her as your first agent. When that happens, you help her get 2 customers. She's going to get paid $200 in direct commissions. You're going to get paid $100 in CAB commission or CAB bonus, all right? So that CAB bonus can range from $100 all the way up to $560 at the top end of the compensation plan. That's the third way in which you get paid. Let's talk about the fourth way. So let's say you decide to build, right? So not only do you enroll her, but you enroll another 3 agents for your organization. When that happens, you get bumped to field trainer. At field trainer, you actually get paid now $160 for every agent you bring onto your organization. So now, so they're getting paid $100, that CAB bonus goes up 60%, all right? So now, let's say you add another 4 agents. That bumps you to the senior field trainer. So just so you know, Lamont hit field trainer today. Give him a congratulatory clap, right? Now he's at field trainer, $160 for every agent that he brings on. All right, now his next move is to get to senior field trainer. At that level, he will then get paid $240 for every agent that he brings on. All right. Now, let's say you've done that. You've grown your business to senior field trainer status. Now you're at 240. And let's say that your first enrollee, she's growing her business right behind you. She's at 160. Now, let me introduce you to the fourth way in which you get paid. So the way it works is every time she continues to add to her team, every time she adds a person to her organization, you're going to get paid an override. Your override is going to be the difference between the two payout tiers. So if you're at senior field trainer 240, she's at field trainer level 160. Every time she adds a person to her organization, you're going to get paid $80. Okay? Now, imagine waking up to a text one morning from her where she tells you she just enrolled 5 people in her organization the night before. She just made you $400 in your sleep. All right? So let's say you both keep growing your biz. You now become the sales director. She becomes the senior field trainer. So now you're at 380. So every agent that you bring on, you get paid $380. She's a senior field trainer. She gets paid the 240. In this instance, as she continues to build her team, your overrides go up. You now get paid $140 for every agent that she brings on. All right. Now, imagine waking up to a text Monday morning after a weekend that says, hey, I just enrolled 10 people in my organization over the weekend. She just made you $1,400 over a weekend. That's not bad. Ladies and gentlemen, this is leverage. This is what the wealthy has understood for a very long time. Again, they're all about building a network when others are out looking for work. All right. So the overrides go all the way up to the top end of the compensation plan, and they max out at $460. So your overrides max out at $460, your cabs max out at $560, and this is just the third and fourth way in which you get paid. Let's talk about the fifth way. We call this a monthly infinity bonus. So once you get to the sales director level of our compensation plan, you're now going to get paid a percentage of the monthly volume for your entire team. So at this level, at minimum, the sales director, your team's going to be doing $10,000 a month in volume. You're going to get paid 0.5%. That's $50 a month in addition to the other 4 ways we just talked about. So let's say you decide to scale. You become a VP. At this level, at minimum, your team's going to be doing $100,000 a month. You're going to get paid 1.5%. That's $1,500 a month. You see how this starts to scale? If you become a senior VP, your team's going to be doing at minimum $1 million a month. You're going to get paid 2.25. That is $22,500 a month in addition to the other 4 ways. At the top end of the compensation plan, Pinnacle Senior VP, at minimum, your team's going to be doing $10 million a month. You're going to get paid 3% of that. If you do the math on that, that's $300K a month. Now, I want to be very clear about this, gang. There's a lot of money on this slide. This is not a get-rich-quick money grab. That's not how this works. If that's what you're looking for, wrong presentation, all right? However, this is an opportunity for you to plug into a system, a proven system that can help you grow and scale. We have a very good system, and the system is based on a very simple principle. You help more people, you get paid more money. The more people you help, the more money you get paid. It is just that simple. So it's not get rich quick, but it is get rich slow. And I think we all agree that get rich slow is better than get rich never. All right. We have agents at every position that you see here on this slide. Every position. All right. So that's the 5th way in which you get paid. Let's talk about the 6th way where you can pick up some additional rewards. Now, here we call this R&R Club, rest, relaxation, and retirement. So the way this works is once you and your organization get to 500 enrollments, you qualify for level 1. At level 1, the company is going to pay for your car payment up to $600. But here's the catch. It has to be an Audi, a Cadillac, or the greatest automobile on the planet Earth, Mercedes-Benz. That's the catch. Now, some of you may be driving these vehicles already, but I can honestly tell you it drives a little better when you got a company paying for it. All right. Level 2, you get a $10,000 cash bonus. Level 3, you get a $1,500 car allowance. You can get the big fat S550 with the AMG kit that just floats on the highway, very smooth. Anyway, level 4, you get a $25,000 cash bonus. Level 5, you get a $50,000 cash bonus and an automobile upgrade option. You can get the Mercedes-Benz luxury line, the Maybach. That's the big. Anyway, level 6, you get your mortgage paid for up to $5,000. $5,000. That's right. The company's going to pay for your mortgage. Now, say your mortgage isn't $5,000. Let's say it's $3,000. The company will pay you the $3,000 and then put the other $2,000 against the principal balance of the mortgage to pay it off faster. Now, I am a car and cash guy, right? So it's easy for me to get distracted with plans like this, but I want you to understand and look closely at what's really going on here, right? If you peel back the layers, what's really happening here is that the organization is doing everything that ties back into their mission. Remember, their mission is to create the most debt-free millionaires. They're actually working to help you get rid of your car payment and your mortgage each month. Think about if you don't have to pay those 2 items on a monthly basis, the amount of cash flow that you now have to either donate, save, invest, whatever. And when you have options like that, that's when you start to arrive at financial freedom, right? And I'm not done. Level 7, you get another $25,000 monthly retirement bonus up to level 10, $250,000 monthly retirement bonus. Man, this compensation plan is ridiculous. All right, so let me tell you what else you get in terms of training, tools, and support. This is a business opportunity. So you will be running your own business. You're going to be working for yourself, but you're not going to be working by yourself. I'm part of the support team. Lamont now is part of the support team. We want to make sure that we help you build and help you be successful and achieve the desired results that you're after. This is a complete turnkey opportunity. Now, what does that mean? You don't have to worry about any overhead costs, any inventory costs, employee costs. You don't have to worry about any of that. You get everything that you need to be successful right from the minute you make the decision. You get your own website, back office, live agent customer support. You get 4 extra paychecks on a monthly basis because we pay weekly. Life insurance, up to $100,000 term, professional marketing materials. I've already talked to you about the commissions, rewards, and bonuses. And we get regional, national, and virtual training. So you get trained every week from the best of the best to help shave off that learning curve. So I want to be very clear. It doesn't matter what your educational background is. It doesn't matter what your occupational background is. As long as you got a little bit of hustle and a passion for helping people, you can do very well with this opportunity. You get tax advantages, right? So as an agent, you qualify for tax advantages, right? Because everything now can be written off. Portions of your mortgage or your rent, your devices, your vehicles, your travel, your utilities, everything, right? Now, you also get the opportunity to help a lot of people. There's so many. Yeah.
Can I chime in? Because I'm a little happy when most people shouldn't be happy on tax day. But after I left my corporate job and then now am fully an entrepreneur, I reduced my tax bill $30,000. So I just want to make sure that people really kind of get that because if you may hate the president's view on just about everything else, but his view on not paying taxes is a great one. And so, between this and some other businesses, it helped me significantly reduce my tax bill. And so on July 15th, tax day, I'd be remiss if I didn't share. Sorry.
That's a great point, dude. Right on time, right? But yeah, that's what can happen, right? All right. So let me just kind of talk about this part. All right. So what does it take to become an agent? $288. Now, this is why I asked if you were looking to do this as a customer, I would highly encourage you to wait to the end of the presentation because I wanted to show you this. You can actually become an agent where you actually get the services. So that $288 includes the $199 setup fee and the first monthly subscription of $89. That $89 comes from the services. So not only do you get the services, but you also get an opportunity to earn an income at the same time. And just like the customer service aspect of this, we can actually help you get rid of the service fee here on the agent side by getting 5 enrollments. So 5 enrollments, those can be customers or other agents. That $89 goes away. You keep 5 people enrolled at all times as you build and scale. You never have to pay that monthly fee again. And you have the opportunity to actually run your business from the app, which makes it very convenient. As long as you got the app on a smartphone or as any type of device, you can run your business. All right. So let me just double check one thing. I wanted to see if she was able to make it. Doesn't look like she was able to make it. I was going to have a person come on and kind of share her experience a little bit, but we got a lot of stuff happening, gang, and unfortunately she wasn't able to join us. So let me just go ahead and kind of wrap this up. So by this time, people kind of categorize themselves in one of three categories. There's the A category, where you saw the information, you see yourself being part of the solution, and you want to be an agent. And if that's the case, connect with Gilda and Lamont. Let them know you're ready to join the team. You're ready to be part of the solution. And we will welcome you with open arms, take you through a brief orientation, and then we start game planning to put you on the path to achieving the desired results that you're after. And then there's some folks that put themselves in the B camp, meaning you saw the information, but you have questions. And that's fine. We'll have a brief Q&A after this so that you can get a chance to get your questions answered. I'd be more than happy to answer those for you. And then there's some folks that put themselves in the C camp, meaning you want to be a customer. That's great. Connect with Gilda or Lamont. Let them know that you want to get plugged into the protection plan. We can get the services started for you and start building that foundation for your financial future. Now, before we jump to the Q&A, let me just kind of wrap this up, gang. If this pandemic has taught us anything, it's that we need to be a little more self-sufficient. Now, by that, I mean, you can't rely on a job anymore. There's no such thing as job security, gang. It's just not, right? You can't rely on the government, right? We have to find ways to be self-sustaining. This is a great opportunity to become self-sufficient, but you got to make the decision of getting started. That investment of $288 or $188, that's a small investment for a huge upside, right? If you have poor credit, getting better credit can save you up to $500 a month just because you don't have to pay extra for the extra interest and every fees and everything else associated with poor credit. But you got to make the decision and you got to get started. So the secret of getting ahead is getting started. So let's go ahead and I'll turn this back over to you, Lamont. You got any closing remarks that you would like to make before we get to Q&A?
Yeah, no, I think you went over everything very well. Maybe if you could go share that initial slide with the 12 services overall, just to kind of give everyone a chance to see what fully comes within the protection plan package, because I know a couple of people joined a little bit late. And then also if that might spur any questions that they may have around how any of those particular services work.
There you go. Oh, hang on. Let's just do it this way.
Especially those that had responded with a 1 earlier on around which of these services might actually be helpful. Would love to hear, what you like so far about the call in general, information and anything, because part of this, as we look to reach as many people as possible, your feedback helps us get better and helps us share this information in a way that creates a level of urgency and inspires action, because that's the only way that we all can grow and be financially secure together.
Can we just jump in there, Lamont?
Yeah, just jump in with any questions. If not, some of my clients that are on here, I might volunteer a couple of you to say, what did you think? So better to jump in before I call on you or drop off, and then I'll chase you down later.
Absolutely. Hi there. I'm Shar Elliott. I've been working with Lamont for some months now. First, just thanking him so much for his dedication and his ongoing support, even when I've been a little less in those things, because I have a lot going on right now. So for me, it's actually amazing, especially for my business umbrella. So I help people to analyze, understand, and expand their financial well-being. And this particular service is how I come up with part of my mission statement to put myself in that position to be able to help people. And, just as, all of you are, or I know Lamont was saying, just kind of being in that rat race, so to speak, of chasing dollars and trying to make it work. And then, you have to come to a point in time in life, we have to understand that you have to multiply your streams of income and definitely become a lot more educated in financial education. So I'm really looking forward to making some serious moves with FCS and with FES and helping others attain their goals as well. So I'm really excited. And I look forward to the ongoing support and to meet the team face to face one day.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Well,
Thanks. So what you're hearing is the newest agent. Shar went ahead and signed up actually today. So that's that good excitement. So so for anyone else on the call, if you had questions around what you heard, around how we work or anything, feel free to jump in.
Hi, it's Myrna again. So thank you guys. It's a great presentation, a lot of good information, and I appreciate you taking the time out. I wanted to know a little bit about the time commitment, like if you become an agent, because I know my schedule is hectic. I have, I have my own nutrition business and I work full time managing a research lab as well. So I wanted to know like time commitment in terms of like the training and becoming an agent. How does that work?
Yeah, I can start out, and Lamont, feel free, you and Jill, if you guys want to chime in.
I'll chime in. I'm somewhat embarrassed, but I'll chime in. I can be embarrassed with results later. I can tell you.
So what I always tell people is that this is an opportunity that you can grow it as fast and as quickly as you want to, or you can grow it at a slower pace. It's entirely up to you and what your desired results are from the organization. For me, now this is one of 4 companies that I run, and this one I find I'm having the most fun with, number one. And when it comes to we have some great processes and systems in place, and we also have some great prospecting strategies in place, particularly when it comes to social media. And so if you plug in to the process, the system, and the social media strategies that we have, you'll find this won't take a whole lot of time at all, right? But again, it all comes down to what you're after. So when I first started, it probably took me 4 to 6 hours a week. And I was able to get to that sales director level in 47 days. But I wanted to get to a certain level in a very short period of time. And so I made more time to dedicate towards this now. But it really it boils down to what you're after. That's how I would answer. Go ahead, Lamont.
So I was just going to say, I mean, just like anything, you get out of it what you put into it. And I would say, up until only maybe 4 weeks ago, I would say I was hit or miss. I mean, I came out of the gate. I set up maybe a couple of phone calls and meetings, but I didn't really put much time into it at all, because the reason for me joining up with the company was for it to be a passive option that I appended to my financial coaching business, right? And so basically, my initial reason for joining would be if I come across a client that needed any of the 12 services, I now have something in my coffer that I could offer, whereas before I was sending them to places and not making money on it, right? So if I'm already gonna be dealing with you, I'd much rather have much rather be a one-stop shop, right? Now that being said, fast forward, one of the other leaders on the team who was on here for a second suggested we kind of do a weekly check-in, right? And since the weekly check-in a month ago, that was when the acceleration happened. And then fast forward a month later, I got a promotion, right? So I would say, once you make the time, and, I can say that, dedicating an hour a week has tremendously enabled growth for me. And everyone's going to be different, but, think of it this way. In other companies, I had to do just about everything, right? Even in the network marketing company that, is the reason why I was able to achieve financial freedom in the first place, right? But I was doing most of the presentation, I was speaking, and then all that stuff. Now I can kick off a meeting and then pass it over to great people like Rod, right? And so I think that's always something to think about, is like your ability to be able to leverage a fast growing, hardworking team of people that have similar interest and vision that enable you to get there, right? And so, if you're on this call, either myself or someone else really thought highly of you to say that there's probably something in this that either you or people might be able to benefit from. And from the great thing about that is, even if, let's say, you have great credit, right? You probably know people that don't, right, as a lead-in, or you probably know people that aren't prepared with a will and living trust, that maybe have assets, that maybe having doing those things. And so the great thing about this is we'll help you leverage that network to make you money, right? And I think that's kind of the key thing that, when you're trained, and, I went to Duke and I went to Harvard, and they're great, but they're great at making cogs in a wheel, right? Like they're great at you going off and collecting debt so that you're forced to move back into their quote unquote economy. And so, I kind of went from very skeptical around network marketing. I got, all this kind of stuff. And then, as Rod had mentioned before, the whole way that the world is working is changing, right? There are more people now than ever. Like it's almost like the lid has been pulled off of kind of the jig that typical universities are, right? Because you think you go out and you get a great education, and that's supposed to prepare you for living this great life. But it really doesn't. It kind of puts you into this rat race, or this like prison, that now you're kind of working to maintain what this lifestyle that your friends, family, other expectations have been placed on you, without a way to kind of create money without you doing anything, right? So that's kind of a key thing that I always want to make sure that people are thinking of. So the key is that if there's something in this that you find interesting, take action now. I'll follow up with the people who I invited, especially if you're one of my financial clients. I did this so that you can get the services, at cost. That's just for me, but that's because that's what I want to make sure is that you're on the path for your best future. So I'll shut up. Any more questions? That's a soapbox that I could be on for a while.
I actually just want to piggyback on the support, because Myrna, you know me, I'm doing a gazillion things, and I have to also say, with Lamont, once we started the once a week call commitment for 1 hour, and sometimes it's not even a full hour, it's like 45 minutes. I've seen a lot of growth in my own portion of this business. And I absolutely have to say, when it comes to not knowing all the things, because I've been too busy to actually participate in every training to get onboarded really fast, the leverage of utilizing the knowledge and the resources available to you. Rod answers phone calls, text messages, and emails around the clock. And I have literally said, oh my God, I have somebody and they want to know this. What am I supposed to say? And he has literally been like, breathe, ask him this question, and send him to this link, or watch this video and follow up. So like Myrna, there's like 48 hours in my day as opposed to everyone else's. Yeah. So I was like, I really didn't have time. I really don't have time, but I'm gonna try and make it work. And then they literally said, I want you to try this social media thing and just do it once. And when you get the response, ask for support and we'll jump in and walk you through it. And they were very, very true to their word. Cause I was like, that's some BS. I don't know about that. Yeah. But like, the first time I wasn't sure, but I was like, I'm gonna jump in and see what happened. They said this, I did this. If you support me, we're good. And then they took it to a whole new level. So now I'm like, that just gave me the initiative. Like, even though I'm really busy, I can still learn in the process, because once I, get something or have to follow up, they literally walk me through every single step. And that was really supportive and helpful, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have grown so fast. So I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. That's one of my other concerns, like the support and the training that you would get. Like if you're learning a new business and you have, like it's a team effort, right?
Oh, it is.
So you need that.
We have some amazing leaders that really are willing to share and give their information and their time.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Another great question. Thank you for
any other questions? Julene, Blaine.
And the only monthly commitment is the fee, right? That's about it. There's nothing.
That's correct.
Just so you know, as an agent, the first thing we game plan on is helping you get rid of that, helping you get your 5 enrollments so you can get rid of that monthly fee.
Okay. And if you decide you want to quit, there's no penalties or anything. It's just you're like, I just can't do it no more. And
Yep.
all right, cool.
Not
That's
any
right.
time.
All right.
No commitment. The one thing I will say around that though, right, is you definitely want to sign up and activate all of your services as soon as possible, because there's certain things, for example, like the will and trust, and I just learned this today. Once you finish it, you get the printed copy, right? So like you kind of have it, right? There's other things that you have, and so even if you were to just think about the cost of a will and trust, I think I mentioned before, I say like $900, getting that for that cost for $300 is a steal, even if that's all you did.
Yep.
Okay. And there's time limits when you need to activate everything, right? Or
No.
But
I mean, but it makes sense if you pay, like, think about it. When you sign up, you also, the first month is included. So the idea is that it would behoove you to activate everything, take full advantage of that first month. And then our goal would be to get you five referrals so that your ongoing cost is free.
Okay. Yeah, Gilda knows me. I ask a lot of questions. It's just my nature. So.
That just means that you're engaged. We love it.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Kalito, Danitha, people on the call? This time is for you. Okay. Well, if not, I will follow up definitely with anyone that I invited. Definitely connect with the person who invited you. If you did not get your questions answered, if for whatever reason you start to think of it afterwards, we'll be sending out a recording of the presentation as well, just for your reference later on. And hopefully you enjoyed this. And definitely, if you have not already, opt in to the Freedom Accelerator Network so that we can bring you additional both services, information, as well as great tips, right? Savings, budget tips, and other things, especially if you're interested in becoming financially or having time freedom.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
You have a great evening, and we'll talk soon.
Okay. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Have a great evening.